It's time for the historic event here tonight at the Emilia Grand Prix. It is time for round 4 of the championship, a classic Italian venue with so much racing heritage. This 4.9-kilometre circuit is definitely narrow, technical, and absolutely unforgiving as well. High-speed curbs as well to the Variante. Chicane and the Tamburello chicane can be lethal too. So it's all about finding the limits of the car, but also make sure you keep it within our lines too, because I think we're going to get quite a few invalidations inside the qualifying session. But alongside me tonight is Logan. How are you doing, mate? Nice to have you back.
Hello, it's good to be back, yes. Of course, the famous or infamous Imola circuit, the Autodromo Enzo E. Dino Ferrari, plays host to this, the 4th round of PSGL season 14. Not just for this division, but for all the divisions in our PlayStation console.
Exactly, it is round 4 of Imola tonight, and last time out at the Belgian Grand Prix, Spa delivered exactly what they hoped to be as well, with a hard-fought victory towards the Grand Prix 2. We saw the last lap's battle between Jeroen, Vizzer and ILT Bumpy. It was a strategic game of patience and pressure, but in the end, Jeroen came out on top and made it wins from there, made it get 3 wins from there. But Jeroen Vizzer is not here tonight, as he's won 3 races in a row this season. We're guaranteed to get a new winner here, and also the championship is going to be alive again with Jeroen out of the equation. So for those people who are challenging Jeroen, a bit like Bumpy, etc. as well, Stefano and the rest of the guys who are up there with him, like Luke as well from last week, Jeroen Vizzer is no longer here, so it could really shape up this race as well. And track limits is going to be like a major important factor as well to keep him, because it's so difficult, this track as well. You be precise, decisive and carry the speeds all the way through the corners as well, trying to find the very limit of the grip and the edge of as well without overdoing it. But Logan, I'm expecting a lot of people might be struggling tonight.
Yeah, well, I've noticed drivers, I think all the drivers now are coming out. Are we expecting rain? It is looking very cloudy up there, just like the weather we've had today in Scotland.
Yes. And in England too,
worry, we survived.
Yep, and in England too, mate, as well. So we had that kind of weather over here, but luckily it was back to dry session. And Jade has left, unfortunately, so hopefully he can get back in the car. And yeah, I think he's able to draw out the session and still get his car, but he's reverted back into the pit lane. So the first person out there so far on the flying lap is Lars van der Linden, who finished P4 at the Belgian Grand Prix. The Dutchman showing, but slowly but surely, good talent as well. As we head down in towards the turn 2, this first chicane here as well, carrying through 5th gear all the way through, clipping the apex very nicely, utilising every single part of the racetrack, and also mounting the curves to gain time. As we head down in towards the chicane, carrying the speed all the way through, then you break in towards turn 6 and lean on the curb on the outside. As we head in towards turn 7 now, this can be a tricky, clumsy corner here, because sometimes it's very easy to lose the back end of the car and therefore sustain massive wheel spin or lose traction. As we now help towards third, we go in this left-hander, flip the car in, down to 5th gear, onto the curve very nicely too, is Lars van der Linden as he makes his way down in towards Accumula Oligo. Let's see how he takes it. Very nicely through. One nice swoop of the steering wheel. Can't afford any half measures there. Can't afford any hesitation to that section as well. As Lars says, oh, look at this. It is raining. It is raining here in qualifying. And that could mean, like you said, Logan, that this track will be the best at the very start of qualifying. It's all about who's getting out there first. So, the first lap is going to be very crucial because, like I said, in this early stage of qualifying, drivers might invalidate as they're not into a groove just yet. And if they invalidate, that could really hurt them heading towards the race.
Oh, sorry.
It's not good.
Stop you there.
I just finished anyway, so good.
Oh, okay. I was going to mention, well, this is probably the end of the qualifying session. Thank you for watching, folks. Only kidding. We have a lot of drivers coming across the line now. I think Philip Fratak is going to start again. Artem goes to the top of the times, cracks 1:14. 5 drivers have set a lap, make that 6 as Nick goes on at the bottom of the barrel, though. You ignore the yellow flags. They're mainly for letting others by. Oh, after you, sir, etc., etc. Looks like some drivers have backed out, and Mattia Manga not happy with his lap. Jaden's still absent. Yeah, it is starting to rain, so you better get in your laps in as quickly as possible now, fellas. I don't think you'll be getting another chance.
Yeah, indeed, mate.
We sit here. Remember, when you're in the shop, you've run out of things to talk about to the cashier. And they say, oh, lovely weather out there, isn't it? Yeah, well, this is that situation, and we're probably going to have that situation until time runs out, because you're not going to improve in the rain, are you?
Nah, definitely not. So the peak conditions were at the very start, and it's all about who can set the fastest lap first. Trying to make sure they negotiate this track very nicely too. Trying to find the limits, but at the same time be very careful as well, because that first lap was definitely important as it makes the qualifying session now. But here comes Philip, the AMS driver, makes his way now towards the final 2 corners, but I think he could be a disadvantage here as well. Nick is in P12. Here comes Philip towards the line. It's not going to be a representative, is it? 15.5.
And that will put him at the bottom of the representative times. Nick, actually not the bottom of the representative time. Nick's just come in. Yeah, we can see it is definitely not going to be good enough to drive in now. Mattia Mango's come back out again. Devil invalidated early on in his lap. Lucas is still on a lap, but he makes a massive mistake into the second to last corner, and I think that is going to be it for this lap. He's still going to cross the line regardless to get on the board, and he is bottom as well. So it looks like we won't be seeing any more of the action here because I do not see this track improving within the next 10 minutes. We don't know how much time's left actually, because these drivers are mucking about, we could say. But we do have quite a little bit of time left doing that, fellas. What if cars are coming? Should be Lucas on a lap in the blue and pink Alpine, going around Tulsa, the famous Tulsa corner. And I do think, how much time do we have on this session? We don't know yet, because the yellow flag is not actually yellow flag. I don't know what is causing the yellow flag, and it's because of those drivers that are going slow. The two you can see there, Nick and Lucas, they've got no fuel in the tank. That's why they're driving so slow. And Lucas is completely messed up at the chicane, so that's ruining his lap. I don't think he was really on one anyway. Yeah, he's got no fuel left. They've all got no fuel left. They're finally going to make their way into the pits, and I do think that'll be the end of the session, sir.
It will be indeed then. So qualifying will be ended prematurely, but Lars van der Linden is going out there on a set of soft compound tyres. So here he is then, but as we've seen from previous drivers, he can't improve whatsoever. I think Lars could get a feel for the track and determine whether to box this lap or not and call it off, because, yeah, like I said, the track is getting greasier. The peak conditions were at the very start of qualifying, so it's very important for every single driver out there to get on the circuit, set a lap time out, but unfortunately some couldn't do it, like Mattia Mango, who's out there right now in the Aston Martin, so let's see how he progresses, but unfortunately he has invalidated. We've got more people coming out, such as NX Scars in P9 and Polymachi too, so not quite sure what's going on here, but this is an interesting one to see, say the least, for these drivers to come back out on a set of soft compound tyres on a wetter track, I dare say, than before.
Yeah, I've also noticed something quite, and it's probably just me eagle-eyed. I don't think the cars actually look like they're attached to the ground running on those. I think there's a bit of a bug there. They haven't actually got those cars. And it might be because of the game thinking it's wet, so they're going to have to be on bigger tread tyres. And, of course, that means they'll be a little higher up. I don't see those tyres touching the ground very well. Maybe they are, maybe it's just me, but some of these cars are not touching the ground in actuality, but like a millimetre.
Well, Lars van der Linden he validated, he almost spun in towards 3 and 4 as well, but unfortunately he validated, and that tells you as well, already struggling in towards the first chicane, he was not going to set a better lap time as well, as Devils is out there in the Aston Martin. 2 Aston Martins haven't set a lap time just yet, neither has Jaden down in P17, but of course Jaden left early doors in this session, so unfortunately for him, if he does join back, he will start in last place, and that in-connection issue is really a killer as well during the race. We saw it with Luke back at the Belgian Grand Prix, because he was leading 1 and 2 with Yvu Visser until he got caught up, I think, with his internet, and unfortunately forced out the session. I think it was Polymachi, as Luke unfortunately got stuck in the traffic by pitting, and the guys ahead did the undercut, and he had to follow his way through. But unfortunately for him, he couldn't get past those guys like Yvu did, because Yvu dispatched him very quickly, but Luke didn't. As we've got Devils towards the line, he's still going to be P15, but it's a battle for P15 now between Devils, Mattia Manga, and Jaden, because you definitely can't get anywhere near the top 40s time.
Yeah, Napol has realised that he's not getting anywhere, so he's called it quits for this session. He's locked into P8 and should be starting P8. Diogo Silva out there in 11th, going on a lap on intermediate tyres. A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Now, I think these cars. Yeah, I think I had to reference Dodgeball. Okay, I should have referenced Talladega Nights because racing, but I didn't have a good one for that one, and I do think that's Devil sliding around out of Tulsa, and he's just spun into the next corner, and you can see it is completely impossible to make any ground with these soft tyres, and Van der Linden has also just realised that. He is out of the session and should be in for just 2 thousandths of ex-Vessel in the Ferrari. And Artem, oh my goodness, the Devil trying to get into the next series of live action Initial D. Don't ever think there's been one. It's just the anime and the manga, and that's it. But yeah, he's getting nowhere, and he's still. Well, it looks fun for a Red Bull show or something, or D1, but it's not getting anywhere. And more cars are retiring as I speak, Cheney.
Yeah, they are. I think it's a time waster. I think qualifying needs to be ended so we can get into the race immediately. As DRS has been disabled, there's your indication, your one and final indication that it's now classed as a wet circuit. But Diogo Silva is going to go out there, of course, do a flying lap on the Intermediate compound tyres. You never know, it could be ready to race, and therefore some of these drivers might be doing practice. But it is Diogo then out in towards turn when he goes. Had a difficult Belgian Grand Prix to the McLaren driver as well. I think he spun out of turn 7 and towards La Combe chicane. So it really was a difficult season for us, Diogo Silva. And he has not really been up to date either, because we saw a lot of promising back in Division 2 last season, but in Division 3, or F3 shall I say, sorry, F3 this season, it hasn't gone quite well for him at all, as McLaren, I think, are currently second in the championship. No, they're not actually, they're currently leading the championship, but Jeroen Visser has picked up a lot of points as well after Diogo Silva falling out the championship as well due to bad luck, just not having the pace, whether he's spun as well during the Grand Prix. It's not going well at all for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, Matthew Manga's still going on his lap with intermediate tyres. I don't see any, in all opinions, I do not see any personal gain in this. It's just maybe getting some practice just in case it rains, but the drivers have pretty much come to a gentleman's agreement. We're getting nowhere, lads, just give up. Some drivers obviously haven't got the memo or probably want to get some practice just in case. Diogo Silva still going on a lap. He's set a 1:24.773. That's about that's over 10 seconds slower than pole position. That's a brilliant time from Diogo Silva. That'll be pretty hard to top that one in the wet conditions anyway. Jaden's back in the session. Huzzah! So he could actually start in 16th for Mattia Manga. We'll have to look at his mirrors. He actually has to set a lap now. We have a qualifying session, boys. Fight for 16th.
I do believe as well that Jaden was out there during the initial phase of qualifying at the very beginning because he knew he had to get out. But when he left the session, his car teleported back to the pit lane, and unfortunately, it took him this long as well as joining the session. So I really hope his internet connection is stable there for the man in ILT. Of course, Bompia, who is second place in the championship for ILT, is currently not here tonight. He's on vacation, so hopefully he has a good one as well. But this really opens the door now in terms of the championship in PSGL F3, because we know that Jeroen Visser has won 3 races in a row. Saudi Arabia, Imola was one of them as well, and Spa. 3 races in a row with clinical precision of driving as well. Great strategy calls as well.
Oh, never mind.
And Jeroen Visser has been promoted up into F1. Jeroen Visser has promoted to F1, and it's really given other people behind in the championship to fight for as well, such as Bompia. That's so close as well. So we're going to reach the championship standings, but Jeroen is first, obviously, but he's left this division. 3 wins in a row from Austria, Belgium and Saudi Arabia. The Bompia's P2 with 22 points. That's the main one we focus on, because I think Jeroen Visser, I think they'll be beaten easily considering there's 8-9 races left to go this season. Then in third place is Wars with 21 points. Scored a podium, didn't he? His first podium of the season back at the Belgian Grand Prix as well. Good consistency, regular top 5 finisher as well. But let's see if he can get involved in the championship battle. Bompia's had his struggles back in the Austrian Grand Prix, and it is Lucas, not Luke in fourth place with 20 points, 2 points behind Bompia from P2, and Lucas in P5 with 15. Mattia Manga with 30 points ahead of Stefano, who's a reserve driver. It's in 7th place. Then we've got Mustache Bianchi and Lars on the London and Nick outside the top 10, which is quite surprising as well because he's usually got some good pace, but recently has been struggling too. So let me go aboard with Mattia Manga. He's currently out there in the Aston Martin so far, but of course, there's always one driver who is going to do it and who is going to waste the time. Unfortunately, there's always that one driver who does this.
In my opinion, I think it's quite unethical, and I think there should be like a steward that's a neutral party that's implemented to say, okay, guys, we've come to agreement. We're not going to continue the session because there's going to be no improvement. And I think Matteo's just realised that, and I think he's going to give up the ghost. And yeah, so that means Vessel just has to retire, and we can just move on to the race a few minutes early.
Yep,
this should have been done about 5 minutes ago. So yeah, that means Artem, not officially yet, but we're almost for certain he is on pole position for blistering timer for 1:13.894. Vessel 1:14.067 will also be on the front row. Lars van den Linden missing out on the front row start by 2 pounds of 1:14.069. Nice. We've got Luke, Ward, Keke, Polomaki, Napple, NASCARs, Aless, Diogo Silva, Philip, Nick, Lucas, Devil, Matthew Manger, and at the 9th row, all on his own, Jaden, who unfortunately didn't get out there to set a time.
Oh, come on, Vessel, retire the pit lane, mate. It's done and dusted right now. We're just watching the garages on the screen there, looking at the Kickstarter and a few fans in the background as well, and the clouds gathering in too. But hopefully Vessel is there and retire. I'm not quite sure what he's doing right now, but hopefully he's okay, and we can get back in there. Highest qualified position for Vessel, by the way, in P2, so that's a really good job here tonight in a PSGL F3 for the man who has been struggling as well. He's had glimpses of paces, but just drops back slightly in the race as well, so maybe his race pace is not up to date there as well in terms of that regard. But Mark Artem in first place there with a 30.894, astonishing lap time considering the track was green as well. I know Paul is about a low 13, high 12, but to do a 30.8 on a track where it's green as well on your first lap, where it's getting greasier and greasier, is still a remarkable lap time indeed. And hopefully we get Vessel retire because I want to move straight to the race. We should be an interesting race around here, Emilia. Of course, you've got one DRS zone on the main straight, and staying within DRS range as well could be absolutely vital for your race and tyre wear as well.
Ah, there we go. I don't think I should mention it on stream, but look at what I put in the chat. But anyway, there you go. There's the session. To recap, Artem, Vessel, and Lars van der Linden in your top 3. Quite a variable range of times because of the wet track we had early on in this. Early on in the session. So quite a mixed up grid. We could have an exciting race in progress here.
Yeah, I just saw you comment in the chat, mate. I'm laughing now. I just saw you comment in the chat, but obviously that can't be repeated on the stream, of course. But yeah, we're tucked in then for a good race around here at the Imola Grand Prix. The track limits are going to be also a key to watch out for as well. People speeding in the penalties as well, because that's detrimental for your race now. It's a 10-second time penalty as well, as opposed to be a 5 in the last games, but they increased it as well. So every driver has got to have their wits about them as well to make sure the strategy is right, and overtaking as well could be a bit difficult in the dirty air, so maybe people in the midfield could be at a disadvantage there as well. But it is nice and sunny, which you want to see as well around here in Imola. Unfortunately as well, Logan, this track is going. Max Verstappen was the last race winner here.
It is going, and I think it's because of... Is it because... Wait, he won 4 times? No, 5 times.
Well, Verstappen won. He won the 21 to...
No, 4 times, because 23 didn't happen.
Oh, yeah, 3... Oh, my apologies. Yeah, 2023 race did not happen.
And the first time he competed here, he retired, because I think he... Didn't he ever splash out in the gravel?
No, his tyre blew out.
As well. Oh, yeah, he did. Oh no! Now they're making a joke out. I won't mention what I said. It's quite. I think it's quite NSFW.
Oh.
If you watched the Channel 4 documentary recently in the UK, you will know what I mean. But that's all
dear.
I'm saying.
I know exactly what you mean as well, but we're not going to further into that discussion. But we're just waiting for the race to start, as the comments in the chat are very, very funny as well. It's a shame we can't read to them because of, like, obviously it's not suitable or appropriate or professional for us to do that, so we can't really read the comments on the screen. But we're just waiting for the players then to see what tyres we're going for as well. Just waiting for that signal to get ready, and we can get racing soon as we'll head down towards that Tabarello chicane, where we saw plenty of times as well. Max Verstappen did a super move around the outside in towards turn 1 there against Oscar Piastri, took the wide angle and got him as well. What a fantastic move that was. Unexpected, because I thought Piastri had that covered towards turn 1, but not to be, as he got pushed down into P2 as well. And also 2021 between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, when they both met in towards turn 1 and turn 2, but obviously it's so tight. You can't get a car side by side unless you're forcing one another off or hitting somebody. But yeah, we've seen some great moments here in Imola back in 2021 as well and 2022. But let's see then what PSGL has in store for us as we just wait for the drivers then to get ready around this track. And unfortunately, like I said as well, it is leaving, so better make most use of this track as well. And let's see then what's happened. Say again.
Might not leave the game. France stayed for a year. I do think Portimao stayed on for a while too. That's not in this game this year though, sadly.
Yeah, Portimao. Yeah, it was like a MotoGP track, wasn't it? MotoGP race there. But Portimao as well, that was used back in 2020 with that blistering start from Carlos Sainz and Kimi Raikkonen. It was both McLaren's lead actually, but the race stopped, and I think Hamilton and Bottas took a 1-2 on that day as well. But
W11, man, what a car! If everyone had a W11, imagine the races we'd have. But that's not how Formula One works. Not a one-make formula. And in all due respect, I think that's what makes F1 more intriguing. The team also has to do some work.
Oh yeah, for sure. Over the past few years, I've always been bugs and glisters. We say, Logan?
Okay, it doesn't make the racing as great as people want it sometimes, but it's always been like that. Look at the 1988 season. All but one by McLaren. Here we go.
The race is about to get underway for the Emilia Grand Prix very soon. And we are underway for the Emilia Grand Prix here. And it looks like Alton gets a very good start off the line there as Vettel settles into P2 in the slipstream. But when he gets him down in towards turn 2, on the inside line, heading in towards turn 2, can he make a mistake? No, Alton springs around the outside to maintain his position there in first place. Somebody's got the track. It is Luke in the Haas who has been squeezed off the track there. And he rejoins the P7. So good qualifying, unfortunately. For him, he has dropped down the order. As Diogo Silva as well is losing places. As we see Aston Martin there trying to sneak one up the inside in towards the Voda chicane as we head towards Tosa now. These two go wheel to wheel, the Ferrari and the Red Bull going wheel to wheel as well in front of us. That's Alice versus Nick. Nick had a terrible qualifying once again, did the Red Bull driver, and now we're watching Diogo Silva drop backwards even more as other Aston Martin of Philip is alongside him. Sorry, Mercedes of Philip is alongside him, and now he's been promoted up into P13. So it is still Alton who leads the Grand Prix. Good launch from him, very crucial as well, as Vettel tried down the inside, but unfortunately couldn't make that stick as he has himself in P2. Lars in P3 ahead of Ward as well. Just look at the most gained and most lost positions now in this race. So you can see there on the left hand side, Diogo Silva's lost 3 places from 11th to 14th, and Luke has lost places from 4th to 7th there. He's still in this race. It is a long way to go. Strategy as well, safety cars, anything could happen, and also penalties as well that could dictate this race. But it is the end of lap 1 in towards lap 2, and the DRS has been enabled.
Lap number 2 begins. DRS has been enabled, as he's just said. It looks like everyone's got through clean. Oh no, Paulo Massi's left the session. I'm going to get him, don't worry. You continue on.
He left the session last week as well. He has. Somebody got the track. Is it Polymatch's AI who's on the track?
Car's AIs went off the track. I've never seen that before.
He's crashed. He's out of the race. The left front tire's gone.
Yeah, I never seen that before. Virtual safety cars come out as a result. That is one of the strangest things I have ever seen. The AI crashes a driver out of the race. Now, I'm not sure if there was an underlying issue with that, or he just crashed into another car. If the AI just crashed into another car by accident, or his teammate he crashed into accidentally crashed into him. It's supposed to be ghosted. It may be a mistake with the game as well, but yeah, it is a virtual safety car. It's still looking like it's not going to change. Yeah, it's not going to change. I think we're going to be getting underway in a while, but it is still the top three remaining the same. The top three remaining the same. Luke has went down 2 places. Ward and Keke in 4th and 5th respectively have went up 1. And the virtual safety car has come to an end, and we're getting underway once again. And Artem's gap has closed a lot. It is now 3 tenths, and now Vessel is going to be in prime position to take the lead from Artem.
Here's Dean, here he is side by side with the DRS wide open as he goes around the outside, but here comes the Williams too, looking to take advantage, and he does. He muscles up into P2, he goes off the track, he just stays within the track limits there. As we see, Artem up into P2, and Lars van der Linden as well, compromised on the exit of turn 2 and 3, as Wart is right behind too. Polymachi, unfortunately, has joined the session, but he doesn't know his AI has crashed out of the race. Oh, what a poor Rotter look there. He just realised his AI has found the race. Oh, massive moment there for Lars out of Torsa, and that gives Ward all the encouragement, but obviously not going to go for the move into Paul's Perotella because it's just so difficult to overtake there as well, as the track limits on the outside, and the gravel will catch you out as well, as Pierre Gasly in the season at the Emilia Grand Prix when he got pushed off the track there, or just squeezed off as he had nowhere to go. But it is still Vessel who leads the Grand Prix ahead of Artem, so those two are swapped places now in this race. Artem, the virtual safety car ended on the final corner, the most impossible, unfortunately for him, the most unpredictable way this virtual safety car ended, because he didn't want that. He wanted to go further down to prevent the overtakes happening from the guys behind, but unfortunately it was on the final corner, the worst possible time ever for him as well. But now we're ending off lap 3 here, as we see then Vessel will lead the Grand Prix, and here comes Artem right behind as well. Let's see, will he try and take advantage, reuse, or try and get back that advantage he lost? Will Lars van der Linden as well follow through smoothly as well, as we had Vessel set the fast up of the Grand Prix, and Artem right behind, 4 tenths, but obviously he's not going to go for the move because it's a long, patient waiting game here as well in PSGL. At any league as well, you want to be patient, you want to be outdoing it too much, making sure you manage the first in too. What have you seen?
Take a breath, man. How have you not taken a breather? Your voice lungs must be gone.
Oh man, I'm used to it as well. But lap 4 then.
Oh really?
Hopefully it's not.
Oh, someone's went off. It's Nick. Nick has went off the track. Looks like he's lost an end plate. Sorry about that. He's lost an end plate. Just went on the behind in the background at Tosa while I was looking at the front of the field, and that sent him to the back of the grid. Well, except for Lucas, who has already pitted this race. He's 35 seconds behind Nick as the leaders come through the chicane right now. Sorry.
It's all good. So quite a bizarre pit stop there from Lucas as well. Very early in the Grand Prix. I don't believe he pitted on the VSC, just came to the pit lane. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe he got caught up in damage and had to change his wing, but he's all the way down there, 30.5 seconds back. So something must have dramatic happened there.
He's still joining.
Unfortunately, Machi, if your AI is crashed, that's the yard of the race. There's nothing you can do at all, unfortunately, my friend. So it looks like I have to take the fate for this one. But here we go then with the DRS wide open, as we all see these guys in a big DRS train. It's all about who can move forwards as well, as Ales has only taken scars before turn number 2 here, as he cuts the corner as well, going it towards turn 2. So he might have picked himself up a track limit violation there as well. But Wards, he was the second podium in a row. He is 3rd in the championship. Lars van der Linden hasn't scored a podium yet this season, but his pace is definitely showing as well what he can do this season. He can piece it all together, as he's currently 3rd now here in Imola. He was P4, I believe, at the Belgian Grand Prix. His highest finish of the season as well, so great drive for him, for Lars van der Linden. Popular character amongst the paddock as well, with the Ventari team he has. But so far, it's his Vessel still leads. Great pace from him, and I think it's the first time as well we've seen Vessel's good true pace, because he has been struggling this season. He's been about the top 10 now and then, but he's still controlling the race beautifully ahead of Artem. But obviously tyre wear is going to be a factor as well, managing the ERS, etc., making sure you stay within the confines of the white lines, because the penalty would definitely cost your race. And perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. A penalty for Devil. He's triggered the track limits 3 times, and that means he gets the slam dunk 3-second penalty. Unfortunately, that cannot be removed, and that was a mistake by Van der Linden out to the final corner, and he's going to be chased down by Wards if he's not careful. They both have the DRS activated. It's just who's got the guts to make a move. It looks like there will not be a move as of yet, or is there? No, that's behind. That was Luke opting to get past for 5th place. Looks like Napa and Alice are in their own battle as well.
Sorry to interrupt the Esteban spun. Aston Martin spun and Mercedes had to take a on action. Mercedes got an unfair penalty because he literally had to go off the track to avoid the spinning Devils, unfortunately. But that spin, he lost it at turn 3. Then in turn 4, just had no momentum. And the rear end's gone. Oh, Woods. Oh, no. P4 has left the session. Here comes Keke on the outside. Up into P4 he goes. That's a very crucial move as well. Not to get stuck behind the AI. It's a Williams 3-4 now with Keke and Lars van der Linden together. As Luke up the inside. It's a risky place. It's audacious. And he cuts the corner too. And here comes Napol up the inside as well, up into P6, as these guys want to stay in the DRS trade. But I think Walter's connection now has put people at a disadvantage because...
Oh, what is this?
What have you seen?
I think I know what's happening here. The ghosting is turned off, so the AIs will still have to be passed properly. I don't think Wards is in the session. Oh, yeah, now he's joined, but he's caused damage to NASCAR's, who now has to pit, I think, for a new wing. When he comes in again, his performance is going to be downgraded massively, and now Wards is going to have to fend off Philip Fracek and potentially NASCAR's and Diogo Silva behind. They go 2 by 2. Oh no, yeah, he's not taking control of his car yet, has Wards, and it's causing all sorts of problems, including for Matthew Manger, who has to go off track briefly to try and make the move. And now Jaden's going to have to get past him too. This is causing a lot of problems. I think, I'm not sure if it's part of the rule. Yeah, you can see the connection. And look, he's bashed Jaden and Diogo Silva. Something is not right here.
Yeah, definitely not for the AI cars. I think Ghosting is now off, like you said. So, Waltz, I think he's back in the car, but like you said, he's caused some damage to somebody there in the midfield as well. The Alpine, it's not the Alpine, but somebody there in the midfield has got full damage. It is Scars, unfortunately, who is missing a left foot end plate, and I'm not quite sure what he would do really, because converted to his 2-stop, which is much slower as well, so maybe he has to eke it out, try and live with the damage sustained to his car, and push it all the way to the stint heat when he boxes onto the hard compound tyres and manage it there. But we'll see what Scars decides to do. He's going to lose a lot of progress, especially in towards the first and the second sector as well. Very tight and twistical. We need the front downforce. But here comes Mattia Manga, and that answers the questions immediately as Scars is in the pit lane to change his front wing as well. Very unfortunate situation as Vessel now is right at the back of Artem. Lars van der Linden has been struggling in the last few laps. I've noticed as well that Nick has got a 3-second time penalty in this race as well in the early stages, so he's really struggling out there as Nick after that early spin in towards Torsa. Of course, we saw Michael Schumacher and while Pablo Montoya had their famous moments and press conference too back then as well. Great battling, and also Schumacher won here last with Ferrari, by the way, at Imola was Michael Schumacher 2006 as well. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, how long it has been. And Lucas has now taken 14th and Nick's taking 15th because NASCAR's has come out of the pits. I think he did have to take longer to change his wing. So now it looks like we still have the top 3 now, meaning the same as they were at the start, although that wasn't always the case. But I don't remember. I completely forgot Artem got back past Vessel. I must have missed something. But that's my problem. Aless is close up to the kick cyber of Napoli, which will be an Audi next game. Can you believe that? And a Revolut Audi as well. They've just got some branding in the real world. And there's a move there. No, it's actually Philip Fracek that's coming to the pits. That will accelerate everyone up a spot. No move being made at the first corner.
Do you think it's a two-star strategy? He's on the hard compound tyres now, as we see Luke up into P4 ahead of Keke. So Keke's at the moment out of turn 4 somewhere as well. Maybe lost traction. And unfortunately, it's cost him a bit of time. Luke is now up into P4, and he separated, crucially, both Williams as well. Because I'm about to mention, if Luke got stuck behind him, he got compromised on the whole race. I remember down at turn 2, when he got pushed off the track. Not quite sure if he went up by himself or had to take a board action. But now he's up into P4. The gap is 1.2, so still a bit of work as he goes deep in towards Piratella. Flicks up a bit of gravel there as well. Might have lost him a few tenths now and then, but Luke will be pushing very hard now to get himself within that DRS range of Lars, who is hanging on to the back of Vessel and Artem. Artem, his first race here this season in F3, and so far he's doing such an incredible job, leading the pace so far, keeping a good distance between himself and second place, whilst others may be struggling around the circuit. But I wonder as well, let's see if anybody else decides to pit, or let's see if he can make it for one stop, because I think the one stop is the quicker way to go, but at the same time though, you've got to really manage your tyres as well in the first stage of the Grand Prix, and that's the way to win your races, because I know people like me who have suffered is pad has got a lot of tyre wear, and I tried to make a one-stop work at some tracks. I just can't do it. I'm not even pushing either to the limit. I'm just behind the DRS train trying to save the tyres. I'm minimising the steering puts as well. He puts the corners, but yeah, it's just such a tight-coloured track, this one as well. So I wonder if you see some 1 or 2 stops on the field.
Napo has had a mistake out of the first few corners, and Aless has hit him in the back. Luckily, no damage as it looks like from his car. But Napo had a horrendous first few corners and lost control and lost momentum, and Aless had no choice but to go behind and tap him and keep go on. And thankfully it's not done any damage, but it has lost them both time. Vessel back in DRS range, as well as Linden. It looks like Luke is losing ground though, and Keke and Napo are actually coming close behind. Oh, don't forget Aless as well. And they have a 2.5 second gap from Mattia Magra. I noticed a lot of drivers, especially being at lap 10, are struggling with their medium tyres. All the drivers started on medium tyres, and 5 of them have changed to hards.
Indeed, as well, early part of this Grand Prix. Let's see if anybody else in the top field. Yes, they will. So Lars van der Linden pits. It is lap 10. And let's see, can he go to the end of the hardcore power tyres? Will he have to pay the price later as somebody else in the pit lane behind him? It is Luke as well. Wants to pit to the undercut on at least one of the Williams there, because he got stuck behind both of them, but he got past, I think, Keke as well. But he's in the pit lane now. And let's see then if that pays dividends for his race. But the top 2 left out there as well with Keke P3 with the big gap of 2.6 seconds as the DRS has been split apart. Jaden has got himself a 3-second tap into up into P7 after disconnecting in the first part qualifying. Couldn't get back in his car either, unfortunately, and he's up into P7 right now. Still got to make a stop as well in this Grand Prix. Devils is coming out the pit lane as well with Ward standing P13. It's a long pit lane as well, hence why a 2-stop is not really a... Oh, Lucas is retired as well. He's retired in the pit lane, so no safety car. Oh, what a shame for Lucas. This race ended with the AI in the first couple of laps of the Grand Prix, and unfortunately for him, no points on the board there for Lucas. As we watch these guys then, Artem has got good time management, it seems, good pace still on those mediums, because Vessel, interestingly, was out of DRS range as well. So I wonder if Martin's now trying to push as hard as he can, beat the DRS, and I think he's got to respond on this lap to cover the undercut threat from Lars and Luke.
So looks like Lars and Luke are going for the undercut, with Devil being bridging the gap between them. He pitted about 5 laps ago, and looks like the leading pack are coming into the pits for their stops. And Matthew Manger opting to stay out, so he will take the lead and Jaden will follow him for the meantime. And it will be hard for everyone, I believe. Some of them are already pitted. Of course, they are ordered by the 2024 Constructors' Championship order. I do believe, yes. And it looks like the order will be seeing Keke, and Van den Linden has come through, and Van den Linden has taken the lead. So it looks like the strategy of the undercut has played into Van den Linden's favour, and Luke as well, but he is much closer to Artem and Vessel behind, with Devil being a bit of a nuisance for the Ferrari driver. But the undercut has worked, and now we have a new net leader in Lars van den Linden.
It is. He's up into P3, so let's see what Lars can do. He has struggled a lot this season back at the Austrian Grand Prix, and he also made the wrong strategy calls by doing a 2-stop back in Austria too. Really cost him, because he was fighting for the podium with Stefano and Jeroen, and I think it was Luke at the time as well. But unfortunately, in the second stint, he pitted and therefore couldn't find the time back. He also rejoined in a hefty amount of traffic as well, and he had to negotiate them. And it wasn't very easy either, because those guys as well in the DRS train managed to defend from him for a bit of time. But Mattia Manga and Jaden, the top 2, are in the pit lane as well. Jaden was started last, and now he's up into P2, but of course demoted down the order with these guys already doing their stops. So here we go, out of the final corner. It was Artem who led the Grand Prix, but the undercut, as you've seen so far, is powerful, and it tried. But here comes Artem, maybe get Luke back with the DRS. They both have DRS the back of Lars, but here comes Artem with much more straight line speed than the Haasman. He's up into P2, very crucial move, and I thought for 1 second as well, might go down here, but a bit risky. Artem is up into P2. His closest rival of Vessel is in P4. I think in a moment as well, he went wide out the corner, and here comes Philip. That's the back of the Aston Martin. You don't really see moves going down towards here, but he's smartly backed out of it as well. Don't want to cause any contact with good positions, P5 and P6. But of course, those guys as well in 5th and 6th, Devils and Philip, they both pitted quite early in the Grand Prix. So I think as well, in this situation, they might have to do a 2-stop, but we'll see if they have to or not. But let's see who's got the really good time management around here, good pace, and keep it consistent in terms of getting no penalties as well. That's going to win you the race, as we've seen quite a few people in this race already have picked up a 3-second penalty. I've really seen it change the race as well, because sometimes you could be lead and have a good weekend. Unfortunately for you, you pick up a penalty as well around here in Imola. It's just so brutal, and that's why concentration could be very high as well, being precise and accurate in every single corners as well, as these drivers know and practice in these practice sessions they do. But knowing where the limit is,
very close.
Indeed, they are. Knowing where the limits are as well in terms of tyres when they degrade, how much do you want to push them. But here we go, out of the final corner we go, in towards Ravazza 2, and let's see if there's any changes in the field. Maybe Arthur will take the lead immediately away from Lars. He will. Gains a little bit with the DRS and the slipstream there. He goes up the inside as we head down towards the chicane we go. Easy move for him. He's back up into net P1 now, P1 in this race like he was before, and Vessel is there. He gets a very good exit at turn 3 and 4, but not close enough to make a move. He wants to stay with Arthur as well, because he was fighting him in the lead of the Grand Prix, but now he's got 2 cars in front of him, so he wants to smash him as quickly as he can to stick with Artem as well. Vessel running such good pace in the Grand Prix, but that's the price you prize by saying that later as well.
And Artem takes the lead back with that tyre advantage, the younger tyre by 1 lap. And Linden will have to try and find a way to get back into the lead, which he briefly had. But with Luke and Vessel also falling behind, it will be anyone's race at this point. 5th and 6th, by the way, are closing up too, with all this chaos in front going on. Philip Fraxak's on DRS range, and he has 5-lap-old hards. Devil on 7-lap-olds, but both drivers have penalties lingering over them, which they cannot serve in the pits, so not going to be easy. They're going to have to do a little bit of extra work if they want to secure the positions they want to get. That's not a good move from Devil. He is falling well behind, and Keke immediately gets past. But what about at the top? It looks like there's going to be no change up there. Naples through into 7th place as well. So Devil loses 2 positions, and Ales gets in frisky with another one of the kickstarters, this time being Ward, and he's up into 9th place. Nick and Massimago, look at this, there's a big battle, big battle here for 11th place. Jamie, this is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, Ward's Nick and Mattia Manga there fighting for P11 and P10. Ward, who left the session earlier, hence why he's been demoted or shuffled back down there into P10. And the man that picked up a podium as well, and he's 1 point away. He can actually lead his championship as well, headed towards the next race as well, if he finds a good finishing position, because the people behind who are so close. Now Uvas has left and been promoted up towards F1, I believe it is, as Mattia looks for an opening but stays behind. Lars van der Linden is 8 tenths behind as well. He was dangerously close out of DRS, but he's dropped Luke, interestingly, so Luke might fall back into 4th place, because Vessel would definitely want to get the move done and stick with Lars and Artem, who was fighting with in the first stage. But now it's important for him to get past Luke, not get stuck behind him, especially without a DRS range as well, and Lars there having the DRS himself to keep himself in close contention. But he go for the move now. He's used the battery, and as you can see, he takes the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's used a lot of battery that Williams too. I don't even need the MFD, it's on the steering wheel, 0% literally. As Vessel goes up into P3, that's a very crucial move for him, and now he can focus on setting his sights on Artem and Lars, where he was fighting before in the first stint. It's all about getting through the traffic nice and quickly too, without making any mistakes. Max Verstappen, unfortunately for him, on his strategy, couldn't make his stint because he rejoined a whole bunch of traffic, and it was difficult to overtake. Here comes Jaden alongside the Rebel and Nick, but those two are IRT of course, so I don't think they're going to risk it as they stay behind for the time being. But Nick slides out of the village chicane, and Jaden, will he fancy move around the outside in towards Torso? He goes all the way on the outside and makes his step as well. Great move there from Jaden up into P12.
Very nice move. Jaden gets up into 12th. Unfortunately, that gets you no points. He's also got a penalty as well, so it'll be pretty Herculean effort will be required if he wants a chance to score any points tonight. Back up to the top though, the gap still at 4.5 tenths, but behind. Vessel's lost a lot of time. He's now 1.5 seconds behind, and Luke is still lingering behind, looking for a move into the podium places, and this is not looking good for the Ferrari driver. Any repercussions of yesterday? Looks like that's the case, and there's a yellow flag, I don't know what it is, as Vessel is now being passed, and into 4th place he goes, and now Luke into the podium positions. I don't know what happened there. We seem to have a yellow flag. Maybe there was some damage being spread, but it looks like it's back to green there. But now Artem Oh, what's just happened?
Sorry, Keke lost it and I thought he was going to lose the place towards Napoli. They just dipped a wheel on the gravel and I thought for 1 second he would have gone out of as well. But remember Alex Albon spun back in 2020, so did Perez and so did Tsunoda. So Red Bull have had incidents there for the past few years at the Village chicane. Not been kind to them. But yeah, Keke struggling in P5. He's got Napoli right behind as well and Philip in 7th place, who's been running those hards for a while now because he pitted quite early in the Grand Prix in P7. As we see the top two, they're close contention. Like you said, Luke and Vettel, those two are traded places there. But Luke and Vettel not able to close in, unfortunately. Maybe that's the consequence of the DRS as well for Lars van der Linden and Alton, because they can swap places and keep the rest of the guys out of the DRS range. It is very, very essential for this race to be in DRS range of somebody. If you lose it, that could really destroy it as well, because it starts to separate towards the pack as well. You have no chance because the guys ahead are just pulling away while you're just driving to absolute limit, but just can't seem to get back in DRS range. And here comes Lars on Artem. And like I said, those two will be traded places left, right, and centre until it comes to the final stage of the Grand Prix. And that should be very interesting to see who wins out of that battle. Artem is a reserve driver, and also Lars van der Linden hasn't won a Grand Prix yet either this season, or been on the podium yet. So the top two looking to fight for. But Luke, however, has been on the podium quite a few times. P2s and P3s has Luke up into P3 there, but looking to go a few steps better. But he will definitely get his first win of the season, I guarantee as well, because Luke is a really good driver. Belgium, he should be contention there with Jeroen Visser, but that first stop unfortunately cost him really badly because he got put into loads of traffic and he had to make his way through. Jeroen Visser made his way through very quickly without no problems, but on the other hand, Luke couldn't.
Sorry to interrupt. Devil's just had a slide around Tulsa, and he has lost position to NASCAR's in 13th place. Seems to be a lot of dirt on the Aston Martin as well, as he goes to the inside and somehow they do not make contact and get back through. Devil's quite an interesting move. It looks like to work, but NASCAR's like, no, I'm having that back, and a mistake from the Aston Martin will let Diogo Silva go through and take 13th place. But now he's going to have a shot at, oh, what's going on here? It looks questionable racing here, and NASCAR's has been hit from behind by Diogo Silva. I don't think there's been any damage, but it's starting to become a little questionable out there. And now they're going to be going 3 wide. This looks very dangerous as they head down, and there's damage being spread around, and I think that's come off the V-Carb. Yeah, it's come off the... No, it's actually come off the Aston Martin of Devil. Devil now with damage, and he's struggling for grip as they come through to turn 4, and it's not looking good for these drivers, lingering at the back, fighting, and another penalty for Devils to add insult to injury, and he's went off into the gravel.
Yeah, when Lewis Hamilton went off back into 2021, of course. And a few moments later, that massive crash happened. That massive crash happened, and with Bottas and Russell down towards turn 2, but Hamilton was brought back in play because he's able to utilise that red flag to his advantage, repair the car, put on a new set of boots, and make his way through the field as well. As Lando Norris finished in P3, but Verstappen won on that day too. As Verstappen in 2020, the year before, had a tyre blowout, and he was fighting for P2 against Valtteri Bottas. Bottas made a mistake in towards reverse 1 and 2, and gave Verstappen all the encouragement he needed to get past the DRS there. But unfortunately, a few moments later, he had a puncture as well. But yeah, Vettel up into P3 then ahead of Luke, as we now watch these two go side by side, and Vettel now up into P3. Unfortunately, he's just losing so many places there as well. Loses so much time, I must say, for Vettel, because he was hoping once he dispatched Luke and the guys behind him as well, he'd catch up to Lars and Alton where he was fighting before, because those two were fighting at the other stage as Devils retired it. Called quit, and unfortunately he's out of the Grand Prix there. But Vettel, ever since that pit stop, it hasn't worked well for him, because he hasn't got the DRS behind Lars and Alton. Those two now can control the race. The gap will keep increasing between first and second there, and Vettel hopes that these two will fight hard enough to bring himself back in contention for the lead of the Grand Prix again. But however, it's a great drive regardless from Vettel, because he has struggled a lot this season. His best race so far is P9 at the Belgian Grand Prix. But he's doing an exceptional job so far. It's not over yet, though, because he's got Luke right behind. Luke's been on the podium about 3 times this season, maybe 4th now, or 2 out of the 4 races we had. So he could be on course for his third podium of the season is Luke, and try and take the championship lead away from Bompia and Yavin 2 as we head towards the final two course once again. Lap 20 out of 32, and it's Autumn who leads ahead of Lars van der Linden there. Those two, ever since the first round of pit stops, have been controlling this race, as it's all about who is to be placed where as well in terms of ERS, battery, DRS as well. Let's see which one of these two will come out top. As Keke gets ahead of Napol, he's up into P5 there. Keke has been detached as well from his train because he was catching Lars in the first stint. Then all of a sudden, just went bad for him after that. P5 for the Williams driver. I say bad, it's still a relatively good position, but in terms of where he wants to be, not up there with the likes of Luke, Vessel and Lars, as another driver has retired in the pit lane. Scars is out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately for him, had another dismal race there for the Racing Bull driver. So we're down to 13 on the track. Nick has pitted onto a new set of the mini-car powered tyres. They're just hoping something will happen in this Grand Prix with the safety cars or virtuals, which is likely, but unfortunately for Nick, it's not happening for the time being, and the guys behind as well who want a safety car like Diogo Silva, Jane and Mattia Mango as well. But here we go through Acamillarali. That's where Keke is right now, as these two are through the barrier to chicane, hop, jump and skip over the curb as well. Very easy to mess up to that part of the racetrack. You really want to attack it as well, hoping the rear end complies every time as well. You commit to the corner, and these two, if that's one of us, if that's the two, just set yourself up there for the DRS on the final few laps of the Grand Prix, because Lars will have it, or Autumn will have it. Depends which one of these two decides to go when.
So 11 laps to go, and Lars van der Linden. Well, what's going on here? It looks like Artem is completely slowed down. And is that a tactical move from Artem? Because he didn't seem like he wanted to battle Lars. He just seems like, oh, Lars is going to come and get me. I'm just going to let him through. I think I know what's going on here. He's tactically letting him through so that he can get him back later on in the race, and if he can stay within range, win the race. And Vessel is not even close now. He's 2.4 seconds. So these two far ahead. And Luke's still battling with him. Apple and Keke also in a 2-second gap between. So there have been groups like Noah's Ark 2 by 2. Albeit unlike some other races, worlds apart seemingly. Except for the two at the back. Sorry guys. This doesn't have been their race for Diogo Silva and Nick, but as you know, anything can happen in this sport, and we could get a safety car, and if that happens, everyone will be bunched up again, and all the strategies will be thrown out the window.
Oh, yeah, indeed as well. And everybody bunched up, like I said, we're going to have a good race if there is a safety car, but these drivers are professional. I don't think a safety car will be deployed. As Artem then, like you said, he overtook him, or he got overtaken, but he's back ahead as well. So I thought for 1 second he might stay behind him until the latter part of the Grand Prix and overtake him then to get the best possible chance with the DRS down the straight. But Keke is back ahead of Napol then. Those two are just trading places for P5 there as well. Keke slides through turn 3 and 4. Not the first time I've seen that happen as well. Some drivers are really struggling through the chicane. It's just so difficult as well to apply the power down, especially in dirty air and all the tyres as well. Just a difficult track in general is this one. But so far, the top guys, only 3 people in this race have picked up penalties, which is Philip and Jaden and Nick in P13 there, and Nick unfortunately as well. Red Bull had a good charge as well in the last couple of races, but Nick sets fast up the Grand Prix for a sympathy point. But yeah, both Red Bulls have been looking very strong so far, especially Bobby as well, picking up podiums and getting those finishes he needs as well. Currently second in the championship, but that could be changed as Keke gets a 3-second time penalty in this Grand Prix. But that could be changed as well because Luke could catapult himself up into first place or second place in the championship and have the ground there as well. Bobby will be back as well next Monday. He's on vacation like everybody else as well. On this grid, it's the peak time of summer, so they expect a lot of people to be here. But still, 17 is a good turnout, and we're in for a good race. But Lars van der Linden has lost the DRS towards Artem now. So has he just checked out in front of him? Yes, he has. Look at the DRS he's used as well. So maybe on that lap, he will stay behind there, regenerate the battery, and go full attack once again. But Lars does have the DRS on this straight, though. So he went from 1.1 to 5 or 6 tenths per second. As Lars is fighting, so is Artem with the car. You can see him really wrestling as well, the car in towards the Tamburello, Tamburello chicane, I think it is.
I think Lars might have made a mistake in the final 2 corners because the detection zone is well before the final 2 corners, not including the corner just before the finish line. So that may have been the reason why he still got the DRS, despite being 1.1 behind. And that has basically been a lifeline for Lars. He's now just within 9 tenths and still in contention to win this race. But it looks like he's went out of rhythm in terms of the switcheroo they've been Artem have been doing. I think now they've been doing that so they can get away from Luke, Vessel, and the like in the battle for first. So it looks like it's a battle for third between Battle Luke and those behind him. And it's quite a battle for fifth going on, with Napol leading it as we speak.
Indeed, then the top two as they are, Artem in first place, the gap is 7/10 of a second. So this lap, Lars van der Linden was able to stay in DRS range. He could have had a moment out of the first Ravazza or second one, but it looks like he got away unscathed, and he's right back in contention. There's Vessel is up into P3 once again. The Ferrari driver looking for his first podium of the season, trying to run Luke's streak and consistency as momentum as well. Battle for P5 is getting spicy. Alice goes off the track, cuts the corner in towards turn 3 there. I think he was side by side with Napol, but around the outside will never work, unfortunately. You're going to get squeezed off the track anyways, and he's shown the door, and he still remains in P7 for the time being then. But yeah, Vessel just can't see he's getting close. It's just these two have checked out in front as well. During the pit stops, Vessel was way far behind as well in the DRS train, and therefore had a lot more cars to dispatch, whilst Artem had a fewer cars. And once he got up to the lead of the Grand Prix, using Lars van der Linden as well to swap places left, right, centre, keep Vessel at a good distance in third place by about 3 seconds as well. Vessel's got his hands full with Luke as well, so rather in progressing forwards, I think he needs to start thinking backwards as well, because Luke is right there, still in contention, and could be on course for podium 2. So I think at Vessel, we'll have to think about Luke for the time being. Forget about the top 2. If something does happen to the top 2, whether they make contact or the gap's suddenly under a second between Vessel and Lars, then fair enough, but for the time being, got to focus on the guy behind, which is Luke, who is going to take the championship lead and also continue his streak of podiums. The DRS wide open for Lars then, as we head on to the main straight. We go 6 laps left to go. This race has absolutely flown by, but don't go anywhere yet. The last couple of laps of this race could be very interesting, with Lars on the back of Artem.
And so in fact, that's coming to the pits, as the third and fourth place drivers of Vessel and Luke are getting very close together. The two at the top have not switched positions, and in fact, Vessel's actually made up time. He's now 2.6 seconds behind. He's more than 3 seconds behind last time we checked on them. And it looks like Franczak is going to now exit the pit. It's one of the longest pit straights in, I think, all of this sport, because it seems like it goes on forever, like 30, 35 seconds. So time loss when you're pitting has to be considered massively. And it looks like Nick has got back into 12th, but still well long behind Hugo Silva. But then again, Hugo Silva's 16 seconds behind Jaden, world apart, as we've said. It looks like the battle between the top two is about to get feistier. 6 to go once they cross the line again, and Lars is going to have the chance to pass Artem for the lead again.
Here's indeed then, let's have to go. Let's see which one of these two, what will they do? I think Lars, for him, the most smartest thing for him to do now is just sit in P2 and wait, well, just generate the battery as well, trying to save as much battery for the last lap, as Luke is up into P3 back ahead of Vessel. Like we mentioned, it could be a battle between these two, Luke versus Vessel. Vessel, his best finish in P9 on the Belgian Grand Prix, looking to go even better with a strong start to Imola as well. He just lacked his pace in the last few races, that's all it was. But here, looks like he's found something here in Imola, and he's able to challenge the guys at the top end of the field, but he's fighting for podium right now in P3. It's going to be a big chance for him as well to get a podium for the first time this season and see what he can do in this championship. Not really scored many points this season has Vessel, but at least he's got a big haul of points to take away for the time being. The P5 battle still looking very interesting between Napol, Keke and Alester. Those guys are stuck in their own little bubble there from P5 down to P7. Wards is trying to catch up in P8. What a shame for Wards as well, as he left the session earlier as well and dropped down the order. And it just became chaotic since then, as the AI decided to do other things as well, as we head down towards the Varianta out chicane as well, as Lars van der Linden, once again, 9/10 behind, so he's dangerously out of DRS there, just so close, but he just manages to find his way back in as well. Both drivers are pushing hard as well. You can see Artem really wants to break the DRS. He knows it's vital, if he can, to break away from the DRS trainer Lars van der Linden, but like you've seen so far, it's just difficult to break the DRS from somebody. You need the pure pace as well, and hope the guy behind you makes a mistake as well. Lars does have the effects of the dirty air in front of him as well, so he will be struggling a tad in the cut. Oh, struggle there in towards turn 2,
no.
And that was a perfect demonstration there as well. Lars van der Linden picks up the spots too early, massive wheel spin. I think the curb as well had an influence, and he's still within 7 or 8 tenths, but of course he's had to use the battery to get himself closer.
And now Napol, Keke and Alice all have 3-second penalties, and this is good news for Wards and Mattia Manga, who are pretty much within the 3 seconds. They're going for P5 now. So, and maybe P4. Vessel makes a mistake. Okay, maybe not P4, but you know what I mean. The 4th and 5th seemingly worlds apart. So for the 1st and 2nd drivers. But yes, I saw Napo and Alice. I both think they got penalties at the same area in the same lap at the same time virtually. So not great for them, and they've been scrapping quite a lot. So it pretty much goes to show if you mess around, you may face the consequences. And it looks like they have now. Lars, that mistake we saw earlier on seems to have cost him a lot of time. He's got no DRS, he's got to use the energy and nothing else, but Artem's using it to the both on, running on empty in terms of the battery, and Lars now starting to lose out. Napo and Keke fighting again, and Napo gets into 5th place, but it might be 8th or worse, because look at now, Wards and Matthew Manga are going to join in the fight, so Napo's got backup behind him to mess around. It looks like Jaden's closing up too. We got a 6-way battle for 5th, Jamie.
Yeah, it is indeed, with a few guys in there with a penalty as well. Wards, Amateur Manga, and possibly, no, not Jaden because he got a penalty, but those two down in P8 and P9 could find themselves up the field if they're still in 3 seconds of each other. But Lars van der Linden has dropped out there of the DRS range. Artem's pure pace was enough to get himself out the DRS range, and Lars van der Linden had no response there. So P2 will be at his best unless Luke and Vessel catch. I'm not quite sure, but the gap is extended every single time. So unfortunately, we won't see a last lap shootout between Lars and Artem there. Artem's had pure pace throughout the whole race as well, and qualifying, the only driver in the 13, setting a blistering lap time in green conditions as well as it transpired into the rain. And he's done such a mega job as well, dispatching Vessel, pissing the right time, getting through the traffic and defending the threats from Lars on the London 2. He's been superb in this Grand Prix. There is 3 laps left to go in the Grand Prix as well. Lars, we're hoping that Artem makes a mistake, but Artem, I've seen in this Grand Prix, hasn't put a foot wrong so far. Lars on the London, I've just noticed, well, lifting and coasting, so maybe fuel could be a problem too, as usually we see, well, safety car is a factor around here, but no safety car with virtuals in this race. It's Jaden. So basically, I thought that Artem picked up a penalty because when he cut the corner in towards turn 6, and as soon as he did that, somebody picked up a penalty. I thought Artem picked up a penalty there. My goodness me, that could have changed the whole trajectory of this race, but he hasn't. It is Jaden.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and looks like I think Artem's just going to make it in terms of fuel. They must have been doing a bit of lifting and coasting. I think there was one instance he just pulled off entirely to let Lars through, and I think that was concerning a fuel. Wards is notably a little low on fuel as well, but I do think everyone's going to make the finish as it stands. I think they may have been thinking of the safety car. It is starting to get a bit cloudy, but I don't think the rain's going to come in time. 1.8 seconds of gap. It looks like it's all hope could be lost for Lars van der Linden. Artem started first and could be about to finish first, bar a last lap decisive move from anyone behind. But now there's this battle for 5th continuing on, even though there's penalties implicating the result. And I think Keke realises that, and he's just going to let Napo realising that Keke through, and Alice has went off the grass, and that's going to put him at risk to Wards. And this is going to help. Look at this, Matthew Manga going in the inside, playing it bold, but it may be too bold. He makes contact and has to yield position.
Yeah, he has indeed, but look at Luke. Look at Luke. He's almost within DRS range, and that could be the saving grace. If he gets DRS on the back of Lars, that means he's protected from Vessel, and also P2 might be on the cards for him as well. So if Lars is right there, he's really struggling. You can see the Williams there just twitching out of the Aquila complex of corners, which head down towards Orienta Alta as well. He's very close now, is Luke as well. So Lars finds himself under pressure on the last lap as well. The pressure he didn't want, as he wanted to go for his first podium. Still could do it in P3, but Luke is going one better as well. Here we are towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. as we see them coming out of the final couple of corners with the DRS wide open for the final time in this Grand Prix. It is the last lap of this thrilling race, and Autumn leads with a big margin, but the battle for P2 is well and truly alive. We can see Lars defending, but there's nothing he can do about it, and here comes Luke to take away P2. Lars had literally no response, no ERS, and therefore had to give the place towards him, but Lars is struggling once again out of turn 3 and 4. He could be on the threat here, maybe lose a podium because Vessel is right behind him too, so Lars got to keep it nice and tidy as we head towards the finish chicane. You can see Vessel has more confidence in the car. Will he dare settle the inside in towards Torso? He should have been at least fighting for the win of the Grand Prix, but got stuck in that traffic. But Lars once again gets a massive wheel spin. So does Vessel as well out of turn 7. They're fighting for traction. Lars is desperate there to maintain on the podium for the first time this season, but Lars still stays at P3. But we've got sector 3 as well to come up as well. So Vessel might take advantage if Lars continues to struggle. Keke's dropped down the order. Keke's spun unfortunately, but his teammate, however, is under massive pressure. Vessel, where can he strike if he can? Can Lars defend from this? I'm not quite sure. But as we head down in towards the very out chicane, let's see if Vessel can get a good exit out of these two corners and try and get Lars in towards the Vessel wall. But look at that massive wheel spin there for Vessel. I think his chances are over. Lars has just done enough to keep himself in third place there. But we'll go back on board with Artem. Here he is then. There's been a new name brought into PSGL F3. It is Artem. He stepped into the McLaren, vacated by Jeroen Visser, and Artem continues the winning streak. He's won at the Imola Grand Prix. McLaren win 4 times in a row. What a spectacular move there from Artem as well. Fantastic race for him as he's moved up to the big stage.
And now I see why Keke has struggled. He's actually got a puncture on the right rear tyre. He suffered the puncture, and it was 20 laps old hards as well. I don't know what happened. Did he collide with someone? But that may have been why that the hard tyre runners were struggling for grip at near the end of the race, especially Lars. Lars was poor on the tyre conservation, but it looks like he's just done enough to get 3rd place. And I think the undercut, it had its advantages. He briefly took the lead, but, and it was a big but, the tyre weary at that stage. I think the cliff started to do him in.
Yeah, what a shame there, unfortunately, for Keke. Good position, fights for P5 in a tense battle between those guys in the midfield. But like I mentioned as well, a brand new name has been brought into PSGL F3 tonight. His name is Artem. He's the man who's stepping into McLaren, as Jeroen Visser has been promoted up towards the big stage of PSGL as well, so good luck to him. After taking 3 wins from 3 races in Division 3, the McLaren car has been the big one to beat so far, because Austria, Jeddah and Belgium, all victories, are now all in the hands of Jeroen. Now it's Artem's turn to create that momentum forward, and no easy task, but he arrives with a chance to make an instant impact and keep McLaren's perfect record alive as well. But it'll be difficult, I wonder as well. His first time here in Division 3, F3 this season, and he's showing a class of the field as well. Great drive from Artem, the Irishman, in first place. As Luke in P2, it's another series of podiums for Luke as well. His consistency has been very, very impressive as well this season. Just not able to get the win as he would have wanted, but still up there in the fight. And I think he'll overtake Bompier for P2 the championship. So Bompier's got a lot of work to do when he comes back next week. As Lars van der Linden, his first podium of the season, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. He was struggling so much, fighting for grip. He had literally no grip whatsoever. It was like, unfortunately for him, on ice, but he still kept it on the podium as well. Vessel, who started P2, we're looking to do more, but unfortunately that stop by rejoining in traffic has really cost him. Ward's at P5, great recovery drive, but Tia Manga great in P6. Ward's left the session early doors as well, and there are the rest of your classifications. Scars, Devils, Lucas and Polymachi, the ones who are retired in this race after Polymachi had, unfortunately, 8 technical issues, and his AI retired as well. Other people retired because they didn't want to go on simply as well after being so far behind. So that's the reason why those guys retired there. But we do have a little bit of a lobby glitch. But before I continue, before I end the stream off, I want to say, Logan, thank you so much, mate, for commentating with me. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you alongside the comms with me. Vols first this time. I'm the main comm, you're the co-comm, but I think we've both done a pretty good job as well. So I've missed you, mate, and thank you very much for commentating with me.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll get back in to do some more of this in the future. I'm starting to get more freedom on how I can organise my commentary schedule, so looks like I could be back for Season 41 full time. You heard me right, Jess. I don't know why it says plus 32 laps for Philip Frax. It must be an error. I do think he's in the correct position, though. think it's supposed to be like 32 seconds. I don't know why it says 32. He wouldn't have completed a lap at all if that was the case. But yes, Artem, the new winner in this division, started first, finished first, and now he will get 16 points. 17 points for his total. I forgot you get a pole position point, which means you get a perfect score for that, which you'll have to see. I don't know why we're not leaving the session yet. There's no countdown, but we'll probably worry less about that and say now that the point standings, it's like that's the wrong standings. As we know, has Jeroen? Did you say Jeroen was promoted? Yeah.
Yep, he's definitely promoted. Artem's taken over the seat, and Artem has continued his momentum by winning 4 races in a row. So McLaren have a winning streak of 4 races in a row, 3 from Jeroen and 1 from Artem as well. It's a great start to the campaign, a great championship between McLaren, Alpine, Haas and Williams as well. But can anybody stop McLaren? McLaren seems to be the one to beat, as it is in actual F1, but I'm pretty sure as well, back in the Silverstone Grand Prix, there could be more overtaken. We've got quite a few, we've got 2 DRS zones in Silverstone. It is the British GP next week for PSGL, so join us back for F3 on Monday. It's going to be me or Milan Langer, or me, hopefully Logan as well. But last words from you, Logan? Any last words for you?
Yeah, I think... You mentioned that Luke took the championship lead with 32.
If you discount Jeroen, I think Luke should take the advantage. He should take the championship standings. So he's up into first place is Luke, so he'll definitely be leading the championship. But of course, Jeroen is still leading technically, but he's promoted into F2 or 1, I think he has, and he'll definitely get beaten. The points deficit he would definitely get beaten because they're only about over 20 points behind. So that would definitely be demoted soon. But thank you very much for commentating with me, Logan.
No problem.
And like I said then, it is time for the British GP. This time next Monday at 8 p.m. for F3. Join me and Milan Langer back. And can anybody stop McLaren at their home Grand Prix? So far, so good for McLaren. 4 wins in a row. But is anybody out there to try and stop and beat them as well? Can Luke finally get his first for the season? Can Bobbia too get his first for the season too? Can Nick recover as well? Keke as well, but we know he had a puncher. But the Sauber's looking very good so far this season, I must say. They've always had good race pace, and especially Wards in the last race as well in Belgium, who picked up a podium as well. And Vettel has got some form of consistency as well to go with it. So Vettel, this change for him could have huge changes for his championship as well if he could get up there and continue with his pace. But a bit unlucky, but we'll see what these drivers could do this time next week, and we'll see you all later. And hopefully you all enjoyed the Hungarian Grand Prix Belgian Grand Prix last weekend with that spectacular battle. But we move on to Silverstone. We'll see you all later. Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.